Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So the Champions League round 1 fixtures have just finished up the other day. So today I'm going to be going back over, looking back at last week of results. The tables are all looking for all of the groups so far in the Champions League. So if you like this sort of stuff and you love your sport like I do, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell button while you're down there, so you'll be notified as soon as I upload. Let's get into it. So the first group, so Group A, pretty self-explanatory this one. So I'll put the table just up here so you guys can read through. So yeah, we've got Bayern on top, Bayern Munich. I don't think that was a shock to anybody. They're a very good team, although they didn't necessarily play their best. Yeah, they were too good for Man United. They beat them 4-3. That's the game we didn't review. Actually, I'm thinking about that. I'll put the link in the description to my last video here where I talked about the first half of the match days 1 games. So make sure to check that one out so you can get a bit up to speed. Bayern Munich, too good. 4-3. Harry Kane slotted a nice penalty. Yeah, it was mainly just pretty bad defensive errors from Man United that cost them the game. Yeah, it was a tough one there for Man United, but they definitely did play better. And they did just win against Burnley just the other day, so I think Man United might be slowly back on track after their horrible start to the season. And obviously, of course, they're on top in the Bundesliga. They're just a powerhouse club. They're not going to lose too many games like that. So yeah, great result there for Bayern Munich. Comfortable win. Although Man United did scare them late. Now the next 2 teams, Copenhagen and Galatasaray, are tied joint second, with Copenhagen being second and Galatasaray being third. They both drew 2-2 in their game. And then obviously at the end of the group, we have Man United sitting on 0 points at the moment. I think with that win over Burnley just over the weekend, I think they'll take some confidence out of that, and I think that's much needed for them. Group B, Arsenal dominated against PSV, so they're at the top of the group. That's expected. They're a very good team this year, Arsenal. They just drew overnight, actually. I caught the end of last night's game between them and Spurs, who are really improved this year, Spurs. I'm liking what Ange Postecoglou, the Australian coach, is doing with them. Well, they definitely didn't play their best last night. They weren't at their best, but they'll definitely still take a draw, which is a good sign for Arsenal. So yeah, very easily on top there. We had Lens, who came in second, who drew with Sevilla, who have recently just signed Ramos back. He's unbelievable. Great to see him still kicking there and going back to his childhood club. Awesome. And he was really good for them too. Unfortunately, though, it was a penalty that he gave away, which let Wahi from Lens score that beautiful free kick right in the top corner. Keeper had no chance. So they're sitting in second and third joint, with Sevilla being third and Lens being second. Obviously PSV sitting in dead last after getting hammered 4-0 at the Emirates by Arsenal. Sevilla, I hope, get through because I just love Ramos as a player, so hopefully Sevilla can get through for him because I'd love to see him in the round of 16. Next group we have Group C. So in Group C we had Napoli and Real Madrid, both top of the table with a win and with a goal differential of 1. So again, Napoli on top against Braga, although they squandered a lot of chances in this game. It was an own goal from Braga, which was so unfortunate. They were on the attack and they looked really good and they had a chance to get there in the end. They hit the post multiple times. They missed many great chances right in front of goal. So did Napoli, though, to be fair. It was a very scrappy game. Real Madrid are also on joint 3 points with Napoli. They're in second. I felt so bad for Union Berlin, who they played. They kept them out for so long. Real Madrid dominated possession as I would expect them to, with the quality of players that they have in their midfield and just in their team in general. But they didn't really do much, and with the ball, And when they had chances, they just kept putting them over the bar or wide, or the keeper would save it. And Union Berlin defended really well. So Real Madrid, I think, were lucky. It was again Jude Bellingham, who's an absolute class player, who happened to be at the right place at the right time for Real Madrid to help them over the line again. Although last night they did lose Madrid derby against Atletico Madrid 3-1 last night, so that's a poor result for Real Madrid. I think they'll hopefully be looking to bounce back in their next game in the Champions League. Third, we got Braga, who are on no points, -1 goal differential, so that's the only reason they're above Union Berlin, who's last, unfortunately, but they put up a really good effort against Real Madrid. Next up, we have Group D, so we had RB Salzburg topping the table with the only win in this group on 2 goals differential after beating Benfica, who had that red card, unfortunately, with the defender handballing the ball. Benfica, they had quite a few chances, but unfortunately they couldn't slot any of them. But yeah, RB Salzburg were just a little too good, and I think Benfica were sort of caught out with that red card, which sort of didn't help them at all. And yeah, I think they are a little too reliant in attack on Di Maria. I think he's definitely their best player, and he's been a very good player for years. He just won the World Cup last year in Qatar, so I can understand why they'd want to play through him, because he's a very good creative player, but unfortunately he just didn't quite get him the result that night. Inter Milan and Real Sociedad tied with 1 point, with Inter being second. I love watching Inter play. They are currently on top of Serie A. They beat Empoli last night 1-0, so that's a good result for them. They scrapped a last minute sort of goal similar to the Real Madrid game against Real Sociedad, although they were winning with a very early goal for the majority of the game. They were doing really well. But yeah, Inter just struck at the last few minutes, and they were very close to getting a second, but unfortunately an offside stopped it. Again, Real Sociedad in third. Unlucky. Probably should have won that game, to be honest, but in that last sort of 10 minutes they just sort of clocked off a little bit. And in the last spot we had obviously Benfica. Again, as I mentioned before, they were very unlucky. Red card, it cost them that game. Next group, we had Group E. So we had Feyenoord, who won their game against Celtic 2-0, so very comprehensive win there. And Atletico second, Madrid on 1 point, and Lazio joined with them on that 1 point. And yeah, Celtic on the bottom after their 2-0 loss to Feyenoord. With those 2 red cards for Celtic, that was outrageously horrible from Celtic. Group F, now this is the group of death, so this is a very tough group. You've got PSG, who are on top, probably expected, on 3 points with after their 2-0 win over Dortmund, who were quite frustrating to watch, really, because they defended really well in the first half, but as soon as the second half started and they gave away that penalty, PSG after that just pretty much dominated, and Dortmund really struggled. In the second in the group, we've got Newcastle on 1 point after their 0-0 draw with Milan. Their third, very unlucky. Dortmund, bottom of the table there with that 2-0 loss to PSG there in France. Very tough group, this one, but I really do hope that Newcastle can get through this group. I think they can. It's a very tough group, but if you can draw with Milan, who are a really good side, they can get through this group, which I believe they can. My side's group, Man City's group. So Group G, we got RB Leipzig in first, actually, who again are one of my favourite clubs to watch in the German league, on top after their win over 3-1 win. Sorry, it was a really good performance from RB Leipzig. They are currently 4th position in the Bundesliga, only 1 point behind Bayern Munich. They lost quite a few players this year as well, with Nkunku, their striker, going to Chelsea, who hasn't played yet this year. Obviously, my favourite Hungarian player of all time right now, Dominik Szoboszlai, who's gone to Liverpool. In second, we have my club, obviously, Man City, after we had a scare against Crvena Zvezda early. Unbelievable goals from Alvarez, which got us over the line. A nice free kick, which probably should have been saved by the keeper. And yeah, again, Rodri getting a nice goal. Although unfortunately overnight, he was unfortunately given a red card, and he will not be able to play against Arsenal. I'm pretty sure the next game is. So unfortunately, he'll miss that game, which is a tough one to take because yeah, it was poor from Rodri. Didn't need to do that. So that wasn't ideal. Yeah, we'll definitely take being second, joint second with RB Leipzig. We have third, Crvena Zvezda on no points. Yeah, they did shock us early, so not bad signs for them, but unfortunately in the second half, we just outclassed them. And fourth, obviously, the team that I had a bit of a laugh at last time I was mentioning their name is Young Boys. So next group, Group H. This is pretty much just Barca's group. They absolutely demolished this group. Barcelona, obviously on top of the table, 3 points, with a +5 goal differential after they hammered Antwerp 5-0. Barca were just absolutely dominant, and they also just had overnight, or just a couple of days ago, they came back from behind 3-2 at home to beat Celta Vigo, which was an unbelievable comeback. Lewandowski with a double, and João Cancelo, the old Man City boy, comes to the rescue for him and saves them in the last minute of normal time to beat Celta Vigo, who were in front for the majority of the game 2-0. It was only again that last sort of 10 minutes where Barca came back to life. I am really frightened about Barca, as I mentioned in my last video. They are looking really good right now. Even when they're not playing well, they are still finding a way to win, which is all you need in football. Even if you're playing horribly and you're still winning, that shows that you're a really, really good side, and Barca are a really, really good side. They'll absolutely demolish this group. Second, again, pretty self-explanatory. We had Porto on 3 points after they got in against Shakhtar Donetsk. In third on no points after that loss to Porto. They were unlucky at times, but Porto were always going to be too good for them. Although they did get a goal early. But they were too good again. So Antwerp finished last in that group after absolutely getting demolished by Barcelona, who I don't think they'll be able to get out of that group now after they've got a -5 points differential there. So yeah, that's the group tables and how they're looking after the first round. I mean, overall, pretty stock standard and what I would have expected from round one, to be honest there. I think, in my honest opinion, I think Barcelona, I would say probably Arsenal are two of our biggest threats at the moment. This is in terms of Man City now, my club. I think Barcelona and Arsenal are our two biggest threats for the Champions League this season. I really do. The other clubs I don't really see going that far in terms of actually pushing us. Yeah, I think Arsenal, like the way they played against PSV and the way they're going right now in the Prem, I think they're our biggest threat. And as well as Barcelona, who again, after that comeback the other day and the way they absolutely demolished Antwerp, I think Barcelona are probably the team I'm most frightened of right now in terms of them beating us and taking away our chance to win a back-to-back Champions League. So that's my thoughts on that, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how the second round goes, which again I will make a predictions video just before the round 2 starts. Just a quick summary, pretty much expected results. Man City looking good. A real big chance of going back to back. The only real big threats for us are Arsenal at the moment, and I'd say Barcelona. I'd say Real Madrid are there and thereabouts, but Real Madrid aren't necessarily playing at their best, but they are possibly an outside chance. A dark horse to potentially beat us could be someone potentially like Inter Milan, who were there last year. They could potentially be. Apart from that, I'm not too sure if anyone else can really challenge us. Great to have the Champions League back. Great first round to watch, and can't wait for the second round. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell button, and I will see you guys in my next video. I'll see you later. Bye.